Estamos continuando, pessoal, nosso guia de The Raven no nosso canal Toy Nerd. Estamos exatamente onde nós paramos na última jogada. Estamos indo de carro com o inspetor Brand. Só temos uma opção para escolher. Nós vamos escolher e continuar aqui a nossa história.
I'm coming with you. Full stop.
The thief was able to place 10 sticks of dynamite in a cash box right under my nose. For all we know, you could already be sitting on the next bomb. You cannot come.
But, Inspector...
We're here.
Lembre-se de não apertar quadrado nenhuma vez durante o jogo. Se você apertar sem querer e tiver uma gravação, volte. Se não, tente ir até o final do capítulo para ver se desbloqueia os troféus.
Bad news?
It's about the unfortunate events on the train.
Você pode apertar algumas vezes, pelo menos na internet o pessoal fala que você pode apertar algumas vezes, mas se você está seguindo esse guia, você não vai precisar apertar nenhuma vez o quadrado e vai ter sempre a mesma pontuação que eu tenho.
I know. I never received it. Keep a close watch on the loading of the eye, Robert.
Aye, sir. It was a pleasure meeting you, Constable Zelno.
Vamos botar então, deixa eu ver, agente.
What is the constable's problem with me?
I think he's jealous. Scotland Yard assigned him to assist me, just as you were sent by the Swiss authorities.
With the distinction that he may go to Egypt.
Robert is to accompany me at all times. Your mission was restricted to Switzerland.
At this moment, I want to be sent back to Switzerland just as much as you want to be sent back to Paris.
I know, but I'm walking on thin ice, and I can't carry you too.
Vamos perguntar então sobre o telegrama.
I hope you're aware of the fact that you're risking your career.
Indeed I am.
Why do you care so much? Someone pretends to be the Raven, and you promptly risk your career?
What if he's not just pretending?
What do you mean by that?
It's his handwriting. And there's only one person who ever called me Nico. Have you ever considered the possibility that I shot the wrong man?
Vamos perguntar então sobre a caixa forte.
And the second eye is in that safe?
Yes, an emerald. It's been kept in a bank in Zurich since the start of the war. I personally took it out of the bank vault, and Professor Lucien certified that it was the real thing.
And while a fake jewel was sent by train,
the real one was brought here in an armored car.
How is it protected?
You can only open the safe if you have 3 special keys. Professor Lucien has one, and Baroness von Trebitz, who's paying for all this, has the second. The third was sent by air courier to Dr. Abbas Mokhtar, the director of the Egyptian Museum in Cairo.
So, not even you could possibly open the safe before it arrives in Egypt.
That's correct. We don't want to make it too easy for potential thieves.
Commendable.
Vamos perguntar agora sobre o Corvo.
You think it's really possible that you didn't get the Raven back then?
Let us assume just for a moment that the person I shot and who fell from the roof was not the Raven. Who would have cared enough to uncover the truth? The chief of police, the politicians? No. They wanted to revel in a successful manhunt, and it was the best thing that could have happened to the Raven. The search for him was over. He had no reason to fear me anymore. I had so many medals afterwards that he could hear them jingling kilometers away.
And now he's back? And you're the only one who can stop him? Does that sound probable to you?
The feathers, the letters. Nico. No one outside the police force knew that the Raven used to call me that in his letters.
Policemen gossip, and there are plenty of forgers. You can't seriously intend to stake your reputation on such weak evidence.
My reputation rests on something that I probably did not do.
Vamos então oferecer a nossa ajuda.
Let's review. One of the two most valuable jewels in the world was stolen. Obviously, the second one will be next. And you suspect a legendary burglar who's been dead for 5 years.
Go on.
The second jewel is about to be put on board over there, in a safe that requires 3 keys. Our thief may already have the first key, the archaeologist's key. We don't know anything about the status of the second key, which was meant to be air freighted to Cairo. Therefore, there's just one key left. The Baroness.
Correct.
So, you'll need my eyes on board.
Look, you can keep your eyes open for me here on the wharf. I'd be most grateful. But when this ship sets sail, you will not, I repeat, not be on board.
But, Inspector...
We're dealing with a dangerous man, and I will pursue him regardless of the consequences. I won't let you get mixed up in this affair.
It's still my decision.
No, it's not. It's mine, and I've already made it. Good day, Constable Zellner.
Beleza, temos o controle. Temos que olhar aqui algumas coisas. Vamos por aqui. Vamos olhar a passarela.
I'll be marching up this gangway today, no matter what.
Não sobe a borda ainda, calma aí. Temos que olhar o guindaste lá em cima. Quase.
In my younger years, I might have considered abseiling from the crane down to the ship, but those days are long past.
Putz, de uma jovem não desfrutar da vista. Vamos lá.
Sea is quiet today. Ideal conditions for a cruise.
Desfrutar as vistas de novo.
Unfortunately, I didn't have time to see the sights in Venice. Paperwork served up by my Italian colleagues took up most of the day.
Vamos olhar para o policial Olivier. Tá ali, ó.
Constable Oliver seems to be a little simplistic. But I don't think he's a bad policeman. The way he reacted in the tunnel and got the train moving. Hats off.
Vamos falar com o agente.
Hello, Constable Olivier.
It's Oliver.
Bom trabalho no túnel, primeira opção.
I just wanted to say that you did a good job in the tunnel.
Thanks.
How did you know how to get the train moving?
I come from a family of miners, and my uncle is an engine driver down the mine.
I see. And you looked over his shoulder.
Yeah, best way to learn.
Vamos perguntar sobre o
Did
corvo.
Legrand tell you about his theory? That it could be the real Raven?
Of course he did. We're partners.
But the modus operandi doesn't fit at all. The Raven wasn't a bomber.
We have the letter. And the feather. That's his symbol.
Anyone can put a feather in an envelope.
You would know.
What's that supposed to mean?
It was you.
What was me?
You put the envelope on the safe.
To blow myself up?
You threw the bomb away, and now you're the famous hero, right? And the Raven must have paid you pretty well.
That is ridiculous.
Is it? Only you and I and Legrand were in the freight car. One of us must have put the envelope on the safe. Legrand didn't. And I didn't think about it.
O cara tá completamente louco. Vamos aqui então. Aperta X para ir no carro vermelho. Vamos então. Deixa eu ver. Mirar o descapotável aqui, ó.
Fine car, but nothing compared to the young lady who owns it.
Agora olha para a motorista, condutora.
Who could she be? An actress? A millionaire's daughter? She's certainly attracting a lot of attention.
Vamos olhar a bagagem.
Amazing how much luggage there is for so few passengers. And I'd guess that 3/4 of it belongs to the women.
Olha a bagagem
I'll
novamente.
take an inconspicuous look up close.
Oh, Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting anyone to be crawling around on the ground in front of my door.
Don't worry about it, miss. No harm done.
Oh, that's good to hear, Mr.
Zellner. Anton Jakob Zellner.
Vamos perguntar o nome da
May I
mulher.
ask your name?
Patricia Mayers.
Are you American?
I am. Could you help me, please?
Certainly.
Destino da
Are
viagem.
you on your way to Egypt?
Yes.
Are you on holiday?
My father works for a railroad company there.
And is rebuilding the country after the war. Wonderful.
Yes. Wonderful. One more.
Que
You're lucky
sorte.
to have a father who takes you to so many interesting places.
Oh, yes. Lucky me.
Aren't you interested in Egypt? The pyramids, the history.
I would have been more interested in a father who doesn't travel 300 days a year.
I'm sure your father regrets that he can't always be with you.
No doubt. And I'm sure he always wanted the best for me. But that doesn't stop him from thinking only about himself far too often. Bring my luggage on board, please.
Excuse me?
It was a pleasure meeting you, Constable Zellner.
Impertinent.
Vamos aqui. Não. Olhar o Dr. Gerhard.
Is the doctor afraid to board the ship?
Vamos falar com ele.
Hello, Dr. Gebhardt.
Ah,
O herói do dia.
The hero of the hour, but out of work soon.
oh, you won't be a policeman anymore?
Yes, but on my old beat, which is almost as good as being out of work.
I understand.
Vamos falar sobre o barco, o
Is your
navio.
new job bothering you?
On the contrary, I wasn't sure whether I made the right decision until now. I'm from the Black Forest, you know. There are only mountains there. No ships. But now... the salty breeze, the atmosphere... I think I want to stay at sea forever.
The sea is one thing, the passengers are another.
It will be okay.
Vamos perguntar sobre a
What do you
baronesa.
know about the Baron?
Nothing really...
Did you talk to her in the tunnel?
No. Her butler was looking after her. And I was busy with Miss Miller. As you can imagine, it was a shock for her to see her son rolling away on a burning train.
That's understandable.
So, we were all glad when we heard about your brave deed.
Vamos falar sobre o capitão do barco.
Have you already met the captain?
Mario Di Conti. Heard of him?
Should I have?
He is something of a star in Italy. In the First World War, when he was a young man, he sank more enemy ships than anyone else. In the Second World War, well, he had some personal problems.
You mean like the ones you buy in bottles and pillboxes?
Yeah, you could say that. Anyway, sending him into combat was out of the question. They gave him a supply ship instead. And he became a hero again. His ship, part of a convoy from Palermo to North Africa, was the only one that made it.
Impressive.
To say his health is rather shaky these days would be an understatement. I think most of my time on board will be spent dealing with his numerous ailments.
Well, there's nothing left for me to do but to wish you a good trip. Unfortunately, no.
What a pity.
Take care, Dr. Gebhardt.
Oh, I just remembered. We found these in the tunnel. Are they yours?
I'm afraid so.
Strophantine. Do you have heart problems? Maybe it's for the best that you're not coming along. Too much excitement could be bad for your health.
You mean if I don't do anything, I'll probably have a few more years to live?
That's right. Keep your chin up.
Beleza. Jogou o remédio fora. Então vamos Se aproximar aqui do carro da baronesa.
James? James! Where on earth are you?
Hello, Baroness.
Ah, Inspector.
Constable.
Poppycock. You won't be a constable much. When they find out how you rescued that little boy, they'll have to promote you to Inspector.
Vamos perguntar sobre a aventura no
I
túnel.
hope you survived the adventure in the tunnel unharmed.
Scandalous. You book a first-class cabin, and then you're walking on the rails. They wanted to bundle me off in a bus without my luggage. I insisted on a limousine and didn't leave until all my luggage was recovered.
Did you know that the real Eye of the Sphinx wasn't even on the train?
I had no idea. Inspector Legrand
Eu escolhi uma opção sem querer, eu acho. Mas tudo bem, foi a primeira.
The inspector is ensuring the
Tá tudo
safety
certo.
of the Eye.
Well, obviously. All the same, it was you who did the real work on the train.
Viagem ao Cairo, tá
I
certo.
hope that the remainder of your trip to Cairo will be less stressful.
You aren't coming with us.
I'm afraid Inspector Legrand doesn't want my company.
Now, where's my damn butler? James, there you are. Is the inspector to carry my luggage onto the ship all by himself?
Well, actually... Baroness?
Baroness, can you hear me? She fainted.
No. No.
Baroness?
Again, harder.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Help me up.
Perhaps we should...
Now.
I'll get Dr. Gebhardt.
No, Doctor. Just a little moment of weakness. Your arm, James. Take me to the ship.
But of course, madam.
That was no moment of weakness. She saw something that shocked her. Or someone. Very interesting. Especially since she doesn't want to admit it.
Então vamos olhar o carro.
That's a fine automobile. But not even a stately sedan like this can handle all the Baroness's luggage. She was lucky that the second and third freight cars weren't buried in the tunnel. Most of her things made it unscathed.
Vamos pegar os binóculos.
Who or what did she see?
Vamos olhar também.
Neither of them seems to have noticed what happened down here. You'll have a tough time with her. How does one get aboard without a ticket? Not brilliant, but it's a possibility.
Vamos então finalmente escolher subir a bordo aqui no navio.
Oh, who do we have here? Signore...
This is Constable Anton Zellner.
Signori Zelna, I heard about your feats in the mountains. Welcome aboard the MS Lydia.
Thank you, Captain.
I didn't know you'd be taking part in the journey, but I'm glad to have you with us. I'll have a nice cabin prepared for you immediately.
The constable will not be joining us. He has other duties.
Oh, that's too bad. I would have loved to hear about his adventures from the man himself.
Vamos falar sobre a viagem ao
I'd
Egito.
like to accept your offer, but unfortunately, higher powers prevent it.
I am sorry to hear that. We are by no means full, and have plenty of room for one more passenger.
The constable just wants to have a quick look around and then leave before we set sail. When will that be?
In about 15 minutes.
There you have it, Constable.
Cofre
May
suspeito.
I ask how to get to the cargo hold?
Oh, signori, there are much nicer places on board.
But I'm interested in the cargo hold.
Why is that?
One of the trunks seems suspicious to me. Someone could be hidden in it.
You? You want to imply that the most brilliant and probably richest thief in all of Europe is stowing away in a trunk? That's not his style.
That's what makes it more likely that it's not him, but a copycat who's behind all this. And a copycat's style might include doing whatever it takes, like hiding in a trunk if they've lost the ticket.
Oh, come now.
Actually, it would be possible for a registered passenger to board the ship without a ticket.
Subir a bordo sem a passagem?
What do you mean?
You can't buy a ticket for the Lydia at the counter. You book the trip in advance. We know the names of all the passengers. As long as a passenger is on the guest list, we let them board the ship. Doesn't matter if they have a ticket or not.
And did any of the passengers board without a ticket?
I couldn't say. We ask for a name and check it on the list. The tickets are no more than souvenirs for the passengers.
So much for your trunk theory.
Regardless of what you say, I would still like to examine the cargo hold.
All right, then, if you like. But we'll meet here again in 10 minutes. Captain De Conti, before we depart, I'd like to send 2 telegrams.
Certainly, Inspector. The cargo hold is over there. You can enter through a door on the forecastle. The horn will sound twice, 5 minutes before we set off. That's the signal for all the dock workers to leave the ship.
Understood, Captain.
Follow me to the bridge. You can send your telegrams from there.
My time is running out. If I don't find anything in the cargo hold, my cruise will be over before it even begins.
Pontuação deve ir para 13.500. Apareceu lá no cantinho lá, bonitinho. Vamos examinar esse objeto cilíndrico.
Oh, what's this? Aha.
Uma lanterna. Vamos virar aqui, vamos examinar o conversível.
That's the young woman's cabriolet. Apparently they absolutely had to take it to Egypt, at Daddy's expense, of course.
Vamos por aqui, ó. Registrar Lataquila seria como, deixa eu ver, procurar no armário, acho que é isso. Tradução correta.
The door to this locker is ajar. Empty.
Vamos procurar de novo no outro armário agora.
The lockers are locked.
Beleza. Não abandone a botega de cargas. Vamos pra cá no canto. Examinar o baú aqui.
Hello? Come on out.
Vamos abrir o baú.
The game's up. I'm opening the trunk. Hello?
Vamos examinar o baú de novo.
I'm sure someone was in the trunk, but where are they now?
Agora vamos para trás da escada e examinar os cacos de vidro. Aqui, ó.
The shards are... Phew. I startled too easily.
Apanhamos. Olá? Opção pegar a faca, colher o cutilo. Vamos para opção. Cadê? Eu acho que é aqui, ó. Tirar a tela, né? Deixa eu só ver. É isso mesmo. Vamos usar aqui com aqui, será? Deixa eu ver. Deu certo. Agora a gente vai usar os controles do Green Dust, da grua. Vamos de novo, controle da grua. Calma que tem uma coisa atrapalhando nós aqui. Ah, temos que cortar aqui primeiro, tá certo. Ainda não, hein? Faltou alguma coisa aqui, peraí. Agora ele vai. Escapamos!
Ouch! Damned. Ah! It would be best if no one found out about this.
Conseguimos o troféu Houdini por ter escapado com sucesso. Vamos examinar o tubo aqui no chão já.
There's some blood and hair stuck to the pipe. Hair I really can't afford to lose.
Vamos pegar
I'll
também.
hold it on the blood-spattered end. After all, we already know who the victim is.
Beleza, então vamos voltar agora. Nós precisamos examinar a cadeira. Não era aqui? Acho que do outro lado então. É outra cadeira. Não sobe as escadas. Aqui, ó. Examinar as
A
cadeiras.
chair is the last thing I need right now. I was sitting long enough over there in the corner.
Agora vamos examinar. Nós temos aqui. Aqui, ó, examinar a cela.
Detention cell for crew members? Or maybe for rowdy passengers?
Agora os armários. Cuidado para não subir as
Cargo hold
escadas.
seems to be used as a changing room for the crew as well. Or at least the part of the crew that doesn't do their work in white suits.
Agora a gente vai examinar esse buraco de bala.
The shot hit this crate. The question is, was the gunman actually trying to hit it? And if so, why?
Mais uma vez.
Maybe the gunman just wanted to intimidate me. I can't imagine a more effective warning.
Mais uma vez.
It's too dark to make out anything inside the hole. I should take a closer look later.
Beleza, vamos voltar então. Tá faltando alguma coisa aqui. Calma aí, aqui ó. Vamos examinar aqui.
I can make out a corridor, but no details. The glass is too dirty, and there's no light in there.
Vamos abrir.
It's no use. The door seems to be locked from the other side.
Vamos voltar. Vamos subir as escadas finalmente. Vamos passar isso antes de examinar tudo aqui dentro. Vamos abrir a porta.
Whoever locked the door is stronger than me.
Beleza, aperta o triângulo, equipa o tubo de metal, use na porta. Chegamos a 15 mil lá em cima de créditos. Vamos então também deixar o porão de carga.
The gunman may still be nearby.
What are you up to, Zelna?
Cheiro da pistola. Ele quer ver se ela foi disparada. Primeira opção.
I wanted to determine whether the gun had been fired recently, Inspector.
I mean, what are you doing on the ship?
I was jumped in the cargo hold.
Of course you were.
Here, look. Careful how you hold it. There could be fingerprints on the end.
Surely you don't expect me to believe you.
Vamos então, golpe na cabeça.
I was inspecting the trunk. I found it in the cargo hold, and it was clear that someone had hidden inside it to board the ship.
Some people are willing to go to great lengths to be a part of this journey.
Indeed. Whoever it was, they struck me on the head from behind with the pipe while I was looking for clues. Oh, and they shot at me as well.
Ridiculous. You wanted to come along, orders be damned, and so you found a way to stay here. I should throw you overboard.
I would have dreamed up something less painful.
True. That doesn't look good.
See? And there's a bullet wedged in a wooden crate down there. I don't have a gun.
The doctor should have a look at it. Come with me.
Inspector Legrand and Constable Zelna. So you have decided to join us on our journey after all.
So it would seem. We are searching for Dr. Gebhardt.
I'm just fine, Captain Conti.
The Conti.
I'm in control. I can manage. Tell James he absolutely must wake me.
Certainly, madam.
Absolutely.
I shall see that he does.
And now I shall return to my chamber. You'll be in the bar tonight at 10, Inspector. It will be spectacular.
Mulher tá bebaça.
The fresh sea air and perhaps a glass of champagne. But I'm glad that you decided to join us on our journey to Cairo.
Not quite voluntarily.
So he says.
I was jumped from behind.
But no, that is...
Dr. Gebhardt should have a look at him, Captain De Conti.
Of course. Please, have a seat in the saloon, Constable Zelna. I'll summon the doctor. Ah, Doctor, there you are. Our brave Constable Zelna was attacked.
Struck on the head.
Oh. Sit down, please.
Now, please, tell me exactly what happened.
Deixa eu ver. Acho que é a primeira opção. Foi assaltado.
I think you've got a stowaway on board. I was jumped.
Intolerable. I'll have the crew search every nook and cranny of the ship. And of course, Mr. Zelna, you are cordially invited to travel as our special guest.
Good to know that at least one man doesn't want to throw me overboard.
Is it bad?
Yes, it hurts a lot.
I spoke with Dr. Gebhardt.
He suffered a violent blow to the back of the head. I cannot really say how bad it is.
But I can. It really hurts.
Vamos então. Por que ninguém me buscou? Mas a
Why
primeira
didn't
opção.
anyone come looking for me? Didn't anyone notice that I didn't come back from the cargo hold?
We did search for you, but we couldn't find you.
Who was supposed to search the cargo hold?
Constable Oliver. I'll have a talk with him about that later.
I should hope so.
How many fingers do you see?
Vamos lá. 3 dedos, certa?
3 fingers.
Okay.
Onde estamos?
Where are we? And what time is it? I must have been out for ages.
It's just after 8 p.m.
You just missed dinner. But we'll all meet here in the saloon at 10 o'clock to have a drink together. Greeting the passengers personally is a tradition I will not break, even on this unusual journey.
You're all right now, Constable. The bleeding has stopped and the wound looks good. You may have a mild concussion. You just need a good night's sleep. And tomorrow, your only worries will be a headache and an impressive bump.
Thanks.
That's a good enough reason to celebrate. Enough about crooks and thieves. From now on, you can start to enjoy your free cruise.
Inspector!
What?
A dark shadow. Upper deck, just now.
Go, let's have a look.
I'll join you.
Me too.
No, you stay here.
Do you want to make this an argument?
Robert, go to the Baroness and don't let her out of your sight. Zellner, you're coming to the port side. Doctor, you go to starboard. I'll start at the forecastle and work my way back to the two of you. Understood?
But
Baroness von Trebitz. Hello? Baroness von Trebitz?
Vamos vir aqui. Olha para o Dr.
Dr.
Gebhardt.
Gebhardt insisted on coming along, but now he doesn't seem to be sure if that was a good idea.
Agora vamos falar com ele.
Are you okay, Doctor?
oh, of course. Why wouldn't I be? It's just that I would prefer to come with you.
You heard the inspector.
Beleza, agora nós precisamos. Não era aqui, né? Cadê a entrada? Acho que é aqui. Corvéis lateral.
All right,
Beleza.
Doc. I'm off.
Oh no, I'm not going on a manhunt all by myself. Are you okay? Maybe you had better take a rest, in case the blow was more severe.
I'm okay.
Zellner, up here!
Come on. I think it came from up there.
Sure, you just wanted to get a breath of fresh air. Zellner, look who we have here.
Well, if that's not our shadow.
And our stowaway.
Spent any time hiding in a trunk recently?
Me do nothing.
He claims to be part of the crew. Just wanted to get some fresh air.
Of course.
The Baroness won't open the door, sir.
Understood. Take him to the detention cell, Robert. You were right. There was a stowaway.
Yes, but he can't be the Raven. He's too young.
Right, but that doesn't mean that the Raven isn't lurking here as well.
What was that?
A shot!
It came from one of the cabins.
Oh no! Baroness von Trebitz? Baroness! Open the door!
Eita, nós.
Step aside, please.
We have a murder on our hands, gentlemen. Hurry, Zellner. The murderer still has to be nearby. There's practically no one on deck. Anyone who's outside is a suspect. This time, we'll get him. Zellner, are you okay?
Yes. Come on. We have to.
Zellner! Zellner! Murder!
Parece que nós desmaiamos. Não sei com o que. Vamos descobrir.
Ah, you awake? Sleep well, did you?
Vamos responder. Não dormir voluntariamente, segunda opção.
I didn't fall asleep voluntarily.
It doesn't matter. We got along just fine without you.
Vamos perguntar algum suspeito.
Have you arrested anyone yet?
You mean besides the Arab?
He could hardly have committed the murder. You must have been with him when it happened.
We heard the shot on the forecastle. I locked our friend in the detention cell in the cargo hold, and then went up to assist Legrand. You were already sleeping the sleep of the just.
Outros suspeitos.
Any other suspects?
No. Seconds after the alarm went off, the decks were swarming with frightened passengers.
Yes. A clever way to stay incognito during the commotion.
But we still have our primary suspect, the Raven.
You really think he's returned?
Well, I think that no one knows as much about the Raven as Legrand.
But still, it all seems so incredible.
Vamos escolher mais uma opção. Deixa eu ver. Segunda opção dessa vez, desenrolo dos acontecimentos ou progressão dos eventos em tradução.
What's the state of play? How was the Baroness killed?
The Baroness was shot in the chest at close range. We'll know more once the doc finishes examining the body in the medical centre.
And no one saw anything suspicious?
No one saw a shadowy raven leaving the Baroness's cabin, if that's what you mean. A lot of people heard the gunshot. Inspector Legrand wants to question the passengers again this morning, once they've all calmed down, and he's had a chance to examine the evidence.
Deixa eu ver. Provas da cena do crime.
I suppose that you and Legrand inspected the crime scene and the surroundings.
Of course, and we already hit the jackpot. The murder weapon.
Really? Where did you find it?
On the gangway. The gangway for boarding the ship folds up and hooks onto the hull when it's not being used. The murderer probably wanted to throw the gun into the sea. He casually dropped it overboard.
But it landed on the gangway.
Bad luck.
But Legrand and I were on the side deck right after the shot. There was no one there.
Maybe the murderer threw the gun away later. We recovered it in the early hours.
O que fez eu perder a
I
consciência?
didn't pass out last night because of the blow to my head, did I?
Seems unlikely. Inspector Legrand thinks you were drugged.
But how? The champagne.
Who gave you the glass of champagne?
Captain De Conti.
Interesting.
Agora vamos perguntar da taça de champanhe.
It should be possible to find traces of the tranquilizer in the glass. About the champagne, shouldn't it be possible to find traces of the tranquilizer in the glass?
That is exactly what Legrand is trying to do.
Without a laboratory?
Oh, he's got a lab. His cabin is packed with all the latest forensic stuff. It's quite impressive what the inspector can do.
A competent man, no doubt, and surprisingly well prepared.
And diligent. He's been at it all night with his brushes and tinctures and glasses and everything, working like a man possessed. I wouldn't want to be the Raven now.
I think I'll look for Inspector Legrand now.
Do what you think's best.
You won't get rid of me. I'm here to stay, Constable Oliver.
Be that as it may, Inspector Legrand ordered me to guard the cargo hold with our special guest. That's fine by me. Inspector Legrand may be able to get by without sleep for days on end, but not me. It's not easy playing with the big boys, Constable Zellner.
No, it certainly isn't.
Vamos pra cá. Não era pra cá? Aqui, ó. Porta da cabine.
The cabin was sealed. I'm pretty sure the seal doesn't have any legal relevance here on the open sea, but I'm still dependent on Legrand letting me join his team. I better not blow it by breaking his seal without permission.
Vamos examinar a porta
I
fechada
better
de
ask
novo.
Legrand for permission first. My investigations would be much more difficult if he were upset with me because of such things.
Beleza, vamos aqui naquele globo que tá aqui agora. Examine o globo.
An antique wooden globe. If Galileo hadn't asserted himself back then, this would be a flat disk now.
Examine
The
de novo.
globe nicely shows that 4/5 of the Earth's surface is looking out the window. I'd call that an understatement.
Vamos entrar aqui. Não, peraí, deixa eu ver. Sala de estar. Acho que é aqui mesmo. Vamos lá. Peraí, calma. Antes de nós olhar lá em cima, vamos... Acho que só lá em cima mesmo. Então vamos olhar lá em cima. Olha o exterior.
How wonderful. Sunshine and a blue sky above the Mediterranean Sea. It would be a perfect cruise day, if not for the murder.
Vamos examinar o teto de
The
cristal.
ship must have been rebuilt at some point. I'm sure it didn't originally have such a modern glass roof.
Vamos voltar agora. Vamos sair aqui para o convés lateral de novo. Vamos para a coberta da polpa. Vamos examinar La Tubona, que é uma
I'd
espreguiçadeira.
really like to lie in the sun and take a nap, but I don't have time for that at the moment.
Vamos mais um pouquinho para frente. Examinar as luzes.
Did Edison have any idea what would become of his invention?
Vamos examinar as toalhas.
Big, soft towels. I could reserve a deck chair with it. No, better not.
Vamos examinar os alto-falantes lá em cima.
These things made quite a racket last night. I couldn't hear myself think.
Vamos voltar. Vamos continuar em frente. Vamos examinar a passarela.
Curious. One can easily toss a gun into the sea from almost anywhere on the ship without being noticed. And yet, the murderer chose the one spot where it's not actually possible.
Vamos examinar de
The
novo.
gangway is hard to miss. Why did the murderer drop the gun on the gangway? They must have noticed their mistake, even if their back was to the sea. So, why didn't they take the gun and throw it a few meters farther into the sea?
Uma boa pergunta. Vamos examinar
I
as
suppose the
caixas.
life jackets are stowed there, close to the railing, close at hand in case of emergency.
Examinar as caixas de
I
novo.
hope I don't find myself needing a life jacket.
Vamos subir as escadas. Opa! Vocês notaram ali que eu apertei quadrado sem querer, né?
We were here yesterday.
Deixa eu ver aqui onde é que ficou a nosso automático. Faz tempo que eu não salvo manualmente. Vou voltar. Apertei quadrado sem querer. Nós acabamos perdendo alguns pontos. Não que isso importa muito mais. Por isso que nós voltamos. Vou examinar tudo de novo aqui.
Curious. And yet, the gangway is... Why did the... So...
E agora eu vou fazer também um save normal. Faz tempo que eu não salvava. Beleza, vou examinar duas vezes
I
aqui
suppose
também.
the life jacket close to the railing. I hope I don't...
Beleza. Vamos subir as escadas. Eu apertei quadrado e nós diminuímos nossa pontuação. Por isso que eu tive que voltar.
We were here yesterday when we heard the shot, and it was also here where Legrand caught our stowaway.
Vamos examinar aqui, ó.
The grate must be part of the ship's ventilation system. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Examinar o posto de ventilação.
The grate shouldn't be so easy to open. Did the stowaway open it and we caught him in the act? No. The pipe is too narrow. He wouldn't fit in there. I guess the cover has been defective for a while.
Vamos examinar de novo.
I could inform the captain that the grid has to be repaired, but if I start reporting all the problems on the ship, I'd have to shelve my murder investigation.
Vamos examinar os canos lá em cima, tá vendo?
This isn't a panoramic deck for visitors. There are pipes, steel cables, chains up here. You can smell the smoke from the funnel. I have no idea how the ship works, and I really don't care, as long as it stays afloat.
Beleza, vamos... Deixa eu ver... Aqui, ó, bote salva-vidas.
A boat like this would also make a good hideout for a stowaway.
De novo.
Were the tarpaulins arranged like that on purpose so that no one could put them back in order once they get in? You can tell at a glance that everything is ship-shape with this boat.
Machado aqui no cantinho. Aperta X.
Why is there an axe hanging here? I suppose it's for chopping through ropes in the event that the lifeboats can't be lowered. Or they use it to enforce who's allowed on the boat and who's not.
Beleza, não baixa ainda. Vamos na porta. Examina a
The
porta.
ship's bridge. 2 men. One of them navigating.
A porta de novo.
I better let the men do their work. If one of them
Agora vamos mais uma vez agora revistar aqui a esquina,
There's
o canto.
dirt piled up in the corner. Down below where the passengers are, the ship is pretty clean. But the crew doesn't seem to care as much up here.
Beleza, não tem mais nada aqui em cima. Vamos baixar as escadas. Opa, vamos para o castelo da proa agora, que é para esse canto aqui, ó. Vamos olhar para o policial Oliver.
It may not seem like it, but Constable Oliver is actually a very effective watchman.
Vamos falar com ele.
Ahem.
What's going on?
The Raven just flew by. Or at least, he might as well have. I understand. It was just a ruse.
Vamos perguntar sobre o clandestino. Primeira opção.
Any conclusions about a young stowaway?
Yeah, he's a bit suspicious, foreign and whatnot.
I see. Did he act suspiciously in any way?
No, the shot surprised him as much as it did me. Looked in on him earlier. Still seems to be asleep.
Covered with a blanket from head to toe?
Ah, he's still in there. I poked him.
Então, qual é a sua teoria? Segunda opção.
What do you think? What happened here last night?
The Raven broke into the Baroness's cabin, she surprised him, and he shot her.
What was he looking for in her cabin?
She was a rich woman.
Why did he lock the door?
Why not?
From inside? An impressive trick.
I'm not saying I know how he did it. I'm just saying that it was him.
Why didn't he leave a raven feather?
Are you serious? We'd have suspected him straight away.
But fortunately, we still did.
Vamos perguntar sobre interrogar o clandestino. Primeira opção.
May I go downstairs and have a couple of words with our guest?
No, you may not.
Come again?
Inspector Legrand wants to conduct all the interrogations himself. He ordered me to guard the door, and that...
How about a bit of individual initiative?
How about letting a man do his job? Or do you think you'd be better at it?
Vamos perguntar sobre o corvo.
Let's assume that the old raven really has returned and that he really is responsible for all this. Who is he? Or she?
Oh, could be anyone. No one's ever seen the Raven.
He could also be paying someone else to do his dirty work.
Well, of course. It's a fact that he used to work with partners. They even arrested some of his accomplices.
But no one could ever identify the Raven himself. Some claims that they didn't even know that they were working for him. Fascinating. He could have hired someone with financial difficulties to set off the alarm at a certain time without that person knowing why they were doing it.
The man Legrand shot back then, he was a famous safecracker. He could just as well have been a henchman.
Or the real Raven. There's probably no better cover for a big thief than acting like a small one. I don't want to keep you from your duties any longer.
Good idea.
Beleza. Vamos achar aqui. Não. Deixa eu ver pra cá. Material de jogos. Olhar o mar. Nada disso ainda. Tô procurando outra coisa aqui. Ah, tá ali no chão, ali ó. Bem escondidinho no chão, tá vendo? Examinar a garrafa d'água. Vamos lá.
Constable Oliver brought something to drink. You can tell it's not the first time he's had to guard.
Mais uma vez, garrafa
The
d'água.
bottle should be full of water. Unless the good constable happens to have a secret alcohol problem. No way to verify that. I can't get the bottle without him noticing.
Beleza, a gente também vai encerrar por enquanto essa parte por aqui. Não se esqueça de examinar a garrafa d'água 2 vezes, porque a gente não vai examinar na nossa próxima parte, beleza? deixa o likezinho, se inscreva aí e até a próxima. Tchau!